Hello again, I'm Jake.
And I'm Christine.
And 2 years ago, we did a two-part review of a series of...
2 years ago?
Yeah. Wow. We did a two-part review of TV promos and ads for products and TV shows. I thought, it's been a while, why don't we do it again? This is part 3 of promos and ads. Today we're looking at various commercials for soda, food, and other products, edible or otherwise. First up, like last time, we'll start with a classic CocaCola ad, because why not? Coca-Cola is known for some of the most creative and famous ads ever made.
They're a marketing genius.
That they are, and I personally think that this is one of the best ones they've ever done.
Makes everybody happy. I think we're still on the sharing train.
People of all ages.
Yep.
And animals.
Woo! Share it.
That is one of the funnest jingles I've ever heard when it comes to a soda.
We should bring that one back. It is very catchy.
Came out in 1989, I think. And turns out this is not the only variation of You Can't Beat the Feeling. I looked it up, there are actually several, but this is the first one that pops up when you look it up. And honestly, it's my favorite. The others were okay. Like, apparently, even though it was the late 80s, there was a disco version.
And fun.
But to me, this is the best. Just the production, the different locations,
Yeah.
everybody putting in their full energy, just look like they're having a fun time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know, it's trying to manipulate you to buy the product, but that's what a commercial does. And I'm not even a Coca-Cola drinker. In fact, I'm not a soda drinker at all. I've said more than once, I do not like carbonation. But at the same time, I can appreciate these and the hard work that goes into them. I mean, I can definitely see this getting people to buy the product.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
Just feel good.
Totally.
You can't beat the feeling.
And also, the first time we did this, we looked at a Pepsi commercial that featured Michael Jackson when he did the "You're the Pepsi generation" in the style of Billie Jean. Well, I looked and he did several Pepsi commercials, and he did this one that has gotten a little bit of attention the past months thanks to the documentary Leaving Neverland.
Oh.
And even if you didn't know, like, the controversy, this commercial, like, I appreciate good commercials, but the ones that are off make for better material. So, I think there's some entertainment to be found in this. This is from the bad era.
Michael? Jackson?
I can't remember this one. Oh God. Oh God.
The commercial was cheesy, but okay. But once he shows up at the end, you're like,
You know,
"Ugh."
everything. It just felt so wrong.
Yeah, just
Looking for
that.
me, like
that-
it just felt like a female. I don't know.
That smile he gave at the end, it just, you can practically hear him thinking, shall I break out the wine? And this ad's got a lot of controversy because that little boy you see there, his name is James Safechuck, which is almost...
You're not safe, Chuck. No way. Get out.
Yeah, he's one of the main two guys featured in the Leaving Neverland documentary.
Oh, he really wasn't safe, Chuck.
More like Endangered Chuck.
And even if you don't believe all the accusations, this ad is still pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, a kid shows up and he's like, hey. And there's a lot of jokes in the comments that go beyond just him and the kid.
Yeah.
There's also stuff like, where's the security?
Yeah.
And also, the Pepsi's just on the table there.
Mm-hmm.
How exactly is this supposed to be this is not a good commercial, in my opinion.
No, it's
Look.
the product placement's minimal.
Yeah, the Pepsi makes one appearance, and
Well, yeah, he's like
it's,
sharing the Pepsi because he knows he likes it, and
it's easy to miss.
yeah.
You see anything, Pete?
No, I didn't see anything.
The never shown footage of Michael Jackson's hair catching fire would have made a better commercial for Pepsi.
Wait, what?
This is from a commercial that never got finished or aired. Just watch. There's some Pyrotech effects, and it causes a big accident to happen.
Oh, I remember this.
Doesn't even notice,
It's so many products.
and then
I don't think he ever even noticed.
yeah, I didn't notice until it went out.
Yeah, and then and people started going after him.
It's funny. The commercial makes you kind of cringe and not think well of them. But like everybody says when they see that hair video,
Yeah.
it's hard not to feel a little sympathy.
Oh yeah.
Just damn. And now that we've seen one commercial with a
I see it coming.
big icon that a lot of people kind of don't think as highly of these days, here's another. People may remember in the 1980s and 90s, Bill Cosby was the spokesman for JellO pudding pops.
Oh god, yeah.
I've never had those. Have you?
Pudding pops, no, but JellO pudding, yes.
I never had JellO, to be honest, because it always looked gross.
Yeah.
But Cosby was the spokesman, pretty big, and he made several. And the reason I wanted to play a Bill Cosby commercial, because nobody thought of it at the time, but like a lot of stuff with people who turned out to be pretty big scumbags, you see the stuff they did back then, now, and you see a lot of behavior and shit that makes you think, how did we not pick up on this sooner? And this is not the best, but it's a decent enough example.
You know what's so cool about JellO gelatin pops? They taste just like JellO gelatin. But they've got a hand. So, while your right hand is doing this, your left hand can be doing this or, you know. But if your left hand sees how much fun your right hand is having, you won't want to be left out. Now you have to share. JellO gelatin pops. Real JellO gelatin. Only cooler.
It's just really weird.
Yeah, I watched these old stuff with Cosby, and I'm like, how did no one pick up that this was a weird guy? I mean, a lot of people wouldn't, but
Yeah.
the way he acts,
That's like a weird humor, like, I don't know.
yeah, just the faces he makes, like, ooh, just, ugh. And there's, like the other video, there's a lot of jokes written with what he says here, like, while you're doing this, your left hand can be doing this, and people have written stuff like, you can be doing this, while your other hand can be slipping some roofies in. But yeah, Cosby was the spokesperson for JellO and JellO pudding, and I wouldn't say a very good commercial. I mean, it shows the product, and I guess depending on the age, somebody might be amused by how goofy he is, but it's just, the humor's not very good.
No.
And doesn't really make it look that appealing. It's just a guy standing in front of a dark background licking a pop. Like,
No, it needs to be like a kid enjoying himself, like, because that's who you're marketing to.
yeah.
I
And
think.
the
Who
only
you're marketing to. This hand can do this.
Happy holidays from JellO brand gelatin. Santa won't miss just one. Oh, Bill, oh boy.
And now we've gone through soda, which has a general appeal to both adults and kids, and pudding pop, which I guess appeals to mostly kids. Let's move on to a more adult beverage. This is a 1985 commercial for Budweiser beer, and this is, I think, probably known to some people as This Bud's For You.
This bud's for all that you do. They said this city was through. You said, no way. Each day the spirit's growing.
Must be Detroit.
Pride is really showing. You are the power, the man of the hour. You really got things going. You make America work. And this bud's for you. For everything you do.
Getting the blue collar workers here, aren't you?
Yeah. You make America work.
Here's to you, Peachwood Age, that clean, crisp taste that makes Budweiser the king of beers.
I'm not a Budweiser drinker, and once again, not into carbonation, so not really a beer guy, but I like that commercial a lot. It has like the Coke commercial, a very upbeat attitude and
Yep.
song to it. Yeah, it definitely has a bit of pandering in there, like, you make America great. But it makes you feel good, I think.
Yeah.
And
I feel like, and if you were like a blue collar worker, like it makes you feel good. It feels like your voice is being heard, and like you're special. That they're marketing to you, and
manipulation,
Yes.
but it works.
The American Dream.
Most people in my family are beer drinkers, but not Budweiser. Mostly because my great-grandfather held some influence over everybody.
yeah.
And he told them all growing up, my grandmother, my mom, it tastes like horse piss.
That's why you have the Clydesdales. They
So-
just do a cup and you drink it.
This resulted in my family becoming Sam Adams people. But yeah, a good old beer commercial, who doesn't love that? And once again, shows a good range of people on different locations,
Yeah.
which is always good for a commercial, unless you're getting artsy. And going back a little to something that has appealed to both adults and kids, this is a commercial from 1987 for McDonald's, featuring one of their 80s icons and now kind of infamous marketing tools, Mac Tonight. Ever heard of him?
Yep.
When the clock strikes half past 2, turn you head for golden light. It's a good time for a great taste dinner at McDonald's. It's Mac Tonight. Big news, everybody. Now you can get a Big Mac at McDonald's for an incredibly low 99 cents. So make it a Big Mac tonight.
One of my favorite songs.
That's a fun commercial.
It's fun.
And
Clever.
well, yeah, many people point out the character looks pretty creepy. When he's just sitting at the piano playing, doing the nightclub act, he's actually pretty fun. But when they show him close up and talking, yeah, that's when he starts to look a little off-putting. But when he's just playing and singing in the clouds,
Yeah.
it's fun, pretty animated, and the guy playing him apparently was Doug Jones, who became best known for playing Abe Sapien in the Hellboy movies.
Oh.
Very skinny, he's a double-jointed guy, so he can get very flexible, which I guess they would need for Mac Tonight. And yeah, that's a fun commercial. Big Mac, 99 cents. You know,
Gone are those days.
yeah, I see some of these prices. Like they talked about this package deal in one other commercial for like $2.99, and I'm like, that's a really good deal today. Like, bring that back. And after we've seen 2 commercials that featured celebrity spokespeople appearing as themselves, here's a commercial featuring a spokesperson who's not real, but he's a well-known movie character. But also, this is not an American commercial. This is a Korean commercial for Lattiham Fried Chicken. Guess who the spokes character is?
I don't know yet.
You'll see.
롯데햄 프라이드 치킨.
RoboCop.
만나보니까 실감나게 맛있습니다. 롯데햄 프라이드 치킨.
Did not look appetizing.
RoboCop coming out of the TV, coming to life, and despite being a policeman, stealing their food. Even
It's that good, he'll break the law.
he took their whole fucking fridge. And it's funny, the RoboCop movies took a lot of digs at commercials and just how manipulative they could be.
Yeah.
And
It's a commercial.
but it was in Korea, and also Japan apparently did a few with them. So it's not like you can directly blame the people who made the movie.
Yeah.
I don't understand what he's saying here, but it's funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just
Everybody gets the gist.
yeah, fried the chicken.
Enjoy!
RoboCop is a good way to transition into the next commercial, which takes us away from food and moving towards technology.
Ooh.
This is a commercial for the Atari 5200 game system, which was meant to be an upgrade from the 2600 game system. And I'll save my thoughts on how that went after this commercial, which I think this is going to be one of the funniest ones we've watched today.
This summer, the really hot video games come from Atari. We've got Centipede, Ms. Pac-Man, Vanguard, and Galaxian.
Oh, Galaxian.
Just another summer, Atari is going to turn your head around.
Girl in the stripe is quite the dance moves.
What better way to advertise your product? Hot babes in bikinis on the beach. And yeah, the Atari 5200, shocker of all shocks, it was not a great product. If you want to know more about it, go watch the Angry Video Game Nerds episode. He pretty much breaks down why it's a non-functioning, non-working piece of shit. Yeah, so it was supposed to be an upgrade, and it apparently just didn't work. So yeah, good.
That's because everybody was plugging it into the sand.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. If anything, this commercial, I don't think it would really motivate anybody to go out and buy the Atari 5200. I think it would more likely motivate people, mostly guys, to go to the beach under the false promise of hot babes and video games. And also,
I didn't really get that. Like, you're being active in the summer and like, woo, and then now you're playing Atari.
and also, yeah, you're giving people the idea that it would be a good idea to stick your cord in the sand. No, you're gonna ruin an already not very well working product.
The hot names, nobody's hotter than Atari this summer.
But yeah, when I saw this the first time, when compiling commercials, this made me laugh the hardest. Just Atari in the summer. Just...
I'm gonna spill my drink on you.
Nobody's hotter than Atari this summer.
It's an enjoyable minute, and well, I'm not sure it would get anybody to buy it. I think they just watch it for the girls. I thought this was a funny commercial.
It was entertaining.
It's one of the most 80s commercials I was able to find for this episode. And speaking of video games, Atari had some competition in the early 80s.
Oh.
And some of them stuck around and went on to bigger things. Others, I honestly had never heard of before. This is one of them. Astro arcade game system from 1982.
Astro Arcade, a new video computer system that gives you more than Atari or in television.
We give you more.
4-player capability and an incredible 256 colors.
Wow, 256!
A built-in remote game
I didn't even know there were that many.
built-in games, a calculator, and Astro Basic, making the arcade a personal home computer. Astro Arcade, the home entertainment sensation.
At least you now know why you want to buy it.
Yeah.
Unlike the other one, Atari.
Not as flashy as the other one,
Very nice.
but it shows off the product a bit more. Part where he says home computer system. I thought, so that's what iPads looked like in the 80s.
3 built-in games, a calculator,
And a built-in calculator. So you can play games and do your math homework, apparently.
Mom, I miss doing math.
Although I will say, they could have gotten a better spokesman for something that's probably going to be marketed to little kids and teenagers.
Yeah,
I mean,
boring.
what's with the old guy in the suit? I mean, at least Bill Cosby with the Pudding Pops, you could get it because he was a popular comedian. He had a popular family show. Who the fuck is this old guy? And also, what was with the weird smoky room setting? Was he advertising this commercial from Purgatory?
Okay. How drunk am I?
And speaking of products trying to advertise they were better than the other more popular one, here's a commercial for the Betamax. Part of time where Betamax would have only a few more short years left.
If you're looking at video cassette recorders and you're confused by all your choices, just look at the most important feature of all, the picture. And Sony Betamax records a sharper picture than VHS. That's not just our opinion. In tests throughout the country, more people said the picture was sharper with Sony Betamax than VHS. So why doesn't anyone else talk sharper pictures? Because no one else can. Betamax, a sharper
Have
picture.
side-by-side comparison.
Yeah, I noticed all you showed was one, and it honestly didn't look that good from that angle. So it's like doing a which soda is better, uneven ground, but putting your soda up closer.
Yes.
And to be fair, Betamax apparently was the superior technology, but VHS won out as the go-to home video system. Why? Because it was cheaper.
Sure. Yep.
The whole thing was summed up pretty well in a scene in Tropic Thunder.
Now, whichever format porno backs is usually the one that becomes the most successful.
Betamax wasn't around a long time, but a lot of people remember it, and in a way it kind of lives on, and in this age of retro nostalgia, wanna live in the past bullshit, I don't think people are gonna forget it anytime soon. I mean, people certainly remember it more than Laserdisc these days.
Oh, God,
Believe me, there's plenty I'd like to forget.
And like before, we're gonna wrap up this promos and ads review by looking at a few Ernest P. Worrell commercials. For those who don't remember, Ernest P. Worrell was a character created by Jim Varney who, like Flo from Progressive, kind of took on a life of its own. And after becoming popular enough, although Flo hasn't gone this route yet, the Ernest character got his own movies. And he was in probably hundreds of commercials over like a 10-year period. And there are so many, and unlike last year where I went a little fucking overboard, we're only gonna look at 3 today. This is a good one to introduce because it has kind of an introduction feel to it.
Hey Mark, it's about time you got home, buddy. You just about missed all the action on WLBT. They got everything, buddy. They got you action. They got you comedy. They got you drama. Oh, mama. They got you news. Earth Ends Tonight film at 10. And now, Vern, they got me, the old buddy Ernest. Comprendo el déjà vu. Know what I mean?
Seems like seems like it might be worth getting if it has Ernest. The Ernest character, Jim Varney could do a lot of expressions with his face and his body. He was really good, very energetic. He was like a early version of Jim Carrey, kind of. But like I said before, the Ernest character, he's funny for these 30-second commercials, but you put him on too long, he can start to get a little cringy.
Yes.
Like the act gets old pretty fast. But this is a good one because he's introducing a TV station. But his main commercials, the most popular ones, were usually for food and drink products, usually with local businesses. Like his commercials weren't really put on a national level for a while. They were just to like state areas.
Yeah.
He'd talk about like supermarkets, pizza diners, where you could get gas, that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But one of his most infamous products that he advertised was, until I never heard of this, neither did you until we watched that commercial 2 years ago, the Mellow Yellow soda. This is one of his Mellow Yellow ones, and honestly I think one of his most memorable.
You know, Vern, coolers are very important to us today. Why, if it weren't for coolers, it would be almost impossible for us to keep our ice-cold Mellow Yellow ice-cold. Smooth Mellow Yellow with that great taste that's better than Mountain Dew lives on thanks to our friend, Mr. Cooler. Thanks, Mr. Cooler, for ice-cold Mellow Yellow and for bringing America back to the Ice Age. Did you buy that, Vern? Then let me tell you about our friend, Mr. Refrigerator.
Good.
That's quite a grin he has. Brings a whole new term to the phrase shit eating. And Mellow Yellow, it was like his main soda brand. He did advertise Sprite a lot, but his main draw was the Mellow Yellow. And I have seen a case or two of Mellow Yellow at, say, Target over the years, but honestly, never heard of it until I saw these commercials, and a little surprised it's still around. But I like this.
I think it's more of a nostalgic, like Surge came back.
Like Crystal Pepsi.
Crystal Pepsi.
I like this commercial just because it has everything all around them. Like Mellow Yellow is everywhere. So yeah, they show off the product well enough.
Yeah.
But even though they put in that sipping sound effect,
ice cold.
I do not buy for a second there's anything in that can.
No.
And also when he kissed the ice, I was like, do you want some time alone, Ernest?
Let's kick some ice.
And as usual, the main draw is him talking to Vern, the unseen character who's pretty much just the cameraman. Us.
We are Vern.
You are Vern, I am Vern. We are Vernicus.
I want you out of here. I want you out of here now.
Okay, time for the last Ernest commercial of the day. This is a Duval Ford / Man's Best Friend commercial. An Ernest commercial that, honestly, is so rare. The video I found is of someone, it looks like they're just filming their TV. It's the only copy of this commercial I could find, but I think you'll like it. I think it's a good one to sign off on.
I'm assuming there's a dog in it.
Oh, hey, Mark. Me and Shorty just took a test drive in your new Ford pickup. Handles like a dream. Golly, Bob. Howdy, Mark. I can't understand how them boys down at Big Duval Ford can sell them so dad blame low. I guess that's why they're Jacksonville's #1 volume dealer. Well, come on, Shorty, let's... Oh, Shorty, you shouldn't have done it by the Vernon's new truck. Sorry, Mark. Big Duval Ford, Vern. The pick of the litter. Know what I mean?
Aww. So.
Who's he implying the dog did? I'm confused now.
Surely not the ones that are bred in the wilds.
Seems like he was advertising the truck, and the puppy was just a bonus.
Yes.
But who doesn't like a puppy?
Everybody loves a puppy.
You're acting like I ran over your puppy again, which I apologize for, and hey, he rocks that wheelchair.
So, of all the commercials we watched, which one was your favorite?
I liked the CocaCola one.
Can't beat the feeling.
And which one was your least favorite?
Probably the Cosby ones.
If your left hand sees how much fun your right hand is having, it won't want to be left out.
My favorite, is same with you, the Coca-Cola one.
Can't beat the feeling.
My least favorite, yeah, I agree once again. I know we're just agreeing here, but it's pretty much even ground here. The Bill Cosby one was just bland. And this was a lot of fun, and this has been part 3 of our promos and ads series, and we will see you next week.
No, wait, I'm busy next week.
What? Huh. Well, who am I going to do part 4 with?